Hey everybody, I'm Maurice, and on this channel here, we talk about tech and culture. However, every Thursday I do a throwback to some of the pieces that I'm most proud of. And today, for our very first one that we're doing, and thank you for all watching, we're gonna go back to when I was at North Lawndale College Prep working for the company Free Spirit Media. We came with this short documentary called Invisible Until Proven Innocent, and yeah, it was pretty good. It was just 4 teens that got together and they teamed up with me and went out there and we interviewed some police officers, some parents of the community, and we came with this short doc. It was shot over 4 weeks in Chicago, Illinois in the summer of 2018. So I hope you like it, and let's go.
Police officers are now more than ever are abusing their authority. I used to think it used to, be on our end, being too aggressive when they approach us or whatnot.
Every police officer is racist, man. White, black, Chinese, whatever, they racist, bro. Point blank, period.
Abusing their authorities for no apparent reason, always updrawing their weapons like black people's always got a gun on them.
My general perception is that there are a lot of good officers out there, and I think the media, for good reason, has shown the light on a lot of bad officers, but overall I think there are more good officers than bad officers.
I do strongly believe, only because I have experience, I have personal attachments to men and women in the police department, that their objective or their main goal is to protect and serve.
Because they racist. Every police officer is racist, man.
Yeah, I basically believe that police officers are now more than ever are abusing their authority. I used to think it used to, be on our end, being too aggressive when they approach us or whatnot, but now it's on both sides. It really don't matter, how the approach comes on either side,
I've never thought in a million years that it would get this rough. Whereas all these police shootings, lawsuits and things of that nature will take place. I didn't take the job to beat up on people. I'm not racist, prejudiced, or nothing like that. I never thought that I'd see a day when people say, you know what, I hate the police.
The police, being a black man, they have a reputation on the South Side. They could do you dirty.
Undercover police encountered my friends and I coming out of a friend's house, and we were musicians at the time. They came out with their weapons drawn, asking us where the drugs were.
Police done slammed me on the car before, I ain't do nothing, They done took my car before.
I got my crib raided. They on plant drugs and weed in my house for no apparent reason. Labeled me as a felon because I'm black and I had no cases, I had no criminal background. Once they try to get a person without a criminal background in the system, they stalk you after that.
I think it goes back to lack of communication. I think a lot of people feel that the system has done them wrong, and they feel that what they're doing is right, and they do not fully understand the actions in which they are doing, what makes that wrong. They might be doing 5 things that are right in that situation, but one wrong thing can lead them back down that rabbit hole and back into jail. And I think the issue is that we're not explaining or fully explaining what the person is doing wrong.
We talk quicker than we listen. If we could listen more, we could get a better understanding. And the Bible saying all thy ways get some understanding. You can't get understanding always talking.
If there isn't an understanding at some point, it's just gonna keep being young people getting killed for no reason, And I feel like that keeps happening. Every time I look on the news, you see that. This young person getting killed, that young person getting killed. And you think like, man, how that definitely could have been avoided.
I think, and I say this a lot, media is a 24-hour game now. This isn't something that, 9 o'clock news, 5 o'clock news, 12 o'clock news. You have media 24/7, and they need things that'll catch people's attention. So hearing about an officer doing a good job and doing their job is not something that's going to catch. But when you have somebody showing that a police is being brutalizing someone or suspected of doing something wrong, that's going to catch news very quickly, which brings viewers to them, which boosts their broadcast.
The media is horrible. I mean, you got to give a situation that just happened. The media give false information. They give what other people give instead of facts. You know, you see a person, you like, hey man, take your hands out your pockets. Because if you look at it, it takes longer for me to unholster my weapon than it do for you to take a pistol out of your waistband or your pocket.
Decision to use lethal force is made in a split second, and it's based on the safety of the officer and also the surrounding community.
Look, you know what I got on me. When I come to the situation, you know who has a gun. Anytime you throw another person in with a gun, it creates a different situation. If you come across someone, a normal person who you know has a gun, how do you feel?
A lot of people forget that police officers are human beings as well. We have families, we have education, we have other jobs, other careers that we partake in before we became Chicago police officers. They think that we wake up and be officers. Like, this is the first thing we've done, first thing we tapped into. This is what we are, what we were created to be. But we are human beings as well.
A lot of us, especially as African American males, come from the same environment that they are in right now. And a lot of us still live in the same places. You know, kids go to the same schools as their kids, shop at the same grocery stores, everything along those lines. So we're still in the environment, and a lot of people that I know, that personally we've gotten to it, and my friends in law enforcement also, we've gotten to kind of get back to the community, kind of show like what type of people we are.
There are some bad apples, and I think it defines what aggressive means, because aggressive to a person who's not an expert in the field goes to something totally different as a person who is an expert in the field. Just as if someone came to me and asked a question about a potential lawsuit or some type of court matter, they might think it's something more serious than what it actually is, and it's our job as professionals to explain that to people as to what exactly is, in my case, a legal outcome, and for police officers, what the right and wrong way of being aggressive is.
But see, well, you know what most people don't understand is that we come when we're called. Like, people really think a lot of times, like, okay, you have a situation where you have traffic stops or you have people seeing things happen at that moment, but in them certain units doing that a lot of times too. But most of the time we're coming because we're called. Someone called us. If we come in knocking at your door, it's because someone called us, not because, hey, we're gonna go knock on this random person's door and see what's going on inside their household.
One issue is that the good cops on police squad are not allowed to rid the bad apples, quote unquote, in their bunches. So there is no real opportunity for accountability to be discussed.
You know, most of the police officers out there have to really worry about their supervisors and the hierarchy of the chain of command, opposed to the threat on the street. Me personally, I've come through a few challenges in my 19 years of being on the job. I have to deal with supervisors and the protocol a police officer, that a police officer has in order to do your job sufficiently. It's not all about the criminals on the street, the bad guys. A lot of the pressure and the worries have to do with what comes from inside, the internal part about the department, because you know what? Not everyone has your best interest.
I'm one of those people who, if I see someone doing the wrong thing as a police officer to another police officer, hey, slow up, man, we don't have to do that. You don't have to speak to that person that way. And I try to assess the situation in a different manner. In the end result, we are human beings.
I'm definitely a mentor. When I come across a young person or an adult that I see that's struggling with life issues, before I lock him up and try to arrest him and send him away, I talk to him, communicate, and counsel with him, because you never know what a person is going through. Just because you call to a crime scene, it doesn't mean that everybody on that scene is a criminal.
wow, that brings back a lot of memories for me. You know, I remember being downstairs from Jeff McCarter, who was the executive director of Free Spirit Media. I remember working with one of the dopest cinematographers and photographers in Chicago, Daniel Shea Rogers. I just remember that whole experience, and it was a great time there, you know. And I hope that you all enjoyed that video. But keep watching this channel here. Make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe, and the next video is coming up soon. So peace.